Hi guys, today I thought maybe I'd tell you about my history with Yu-Gi-Oh! Something I always found sort of fascinating was how people who've been in the game for many years actually started getting into the game. So, as you may or may not know, it wasn't my first trading card game. Back in the 90s I used to collect Pokemon cards, and then what got me into Yu-Gi-Oh! Not many people know, but I just thought I'd share the story and maybe you guys could share your story. So, I was in the seventh grade when it was 2002 and when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was about to first come out in the United States. And my boyfriend at the time, not John, it was a different kid, so my boyfriend at the time had told me, hey Lisa, there's going to be this new card game coming out, and for my birthday, I want the starter deck. So he asked me for the starter deck, which was he wanted the Kaiba starter deck, so the original first starter deck that ever hit the States. And so I'd never heard of it, and I was like, "What's Yu-Gi-Oh?" And he started telling me about it, and we watched the anime together, like the very first show. And I thought oh, this is okay, but I wasn't really that into it from the show. It wasn't too exciting, but so I knew he really wanted these cards, so I decided to go and get them for his birthday gift. So it was about a week before his birthday. I went with my mom. I didn't have my own money or anything back then, so my mom went to go buy the gift for him. And she said, "Well, can you play the game with only one deck of cards?" And I was sort of looking at it, and I said, "No, I think you need two." And she said, "Well, why don't I get one for you, and you can learn how to play so that you guys can play together?" And I said, "Oh, that's a great idea, because probably don't know anyone else that even knows what Yu-Gi-Oh is." So, lo and behold, she bought me the Dark Magician starter deck, the Yugi starter deck, and I got him the Kaiba one, and I gave it to him. Oh, well, actually, first what happened, I wanted to start reading the rule book so I could learn how to play before, I gave it to him, because I figured he already knew. So, I remember I was, like, in BJ's or Costco or one of those weird big warehouse stores. I was walking around, and I asked my mom if I could open it and read the rule book, and she said yeah. So I started reading the rule book, and I was like studying it like a manual. I was like, okay, I gotta learn how to play this game. And of course, anyone that plays Yu-Gi-Oh knows how complicated it is, so I was like trying to learn really fast how to play. And I figured I had the rules down pretty well, so I gave it to him. We started playing, and I thought it was actually really fun. And so there was a little tiny store. It was like a sporting goods store near my house. Actually, it was like just down the street, and it actually said it was going to start hosting tournaments for Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, wow, we can go to that. And I was more enthusiastic about it than he was at the time, because I was really into the game at that point. So we went to the tournaments, and I remember being, what was I, like a 13-year-old girl, like dominating all the little boys in the store. It was really funny. And I actually had an article in the newspaper about me. I'll go run upstairs and grab the article and edit it into the video. But yeah, so I had it. They wrote an article about me, and I don't know why. It was just for the local newspaper, and so I was like on top of the world. I was like, wow, this is really fun, and I was really into it. So I started collecting the cards, striving to make better decks. I really liked the attention, and so what eventually happened was, okay, that was 7th grade and 8th grade. I was with him. Then after we broke up, I was still into it, and I guess he wasn't. I don't know where the hell he is now. But anyway, I started collecting the cards. I played up until about, I think it was like Elemental Energy. It was about when E-Heroes came out. Then I took a break, and I didn't collect. I wasn't really playing for about like 4 sets, like up until Shadow of Infinity. I think it was like from SOD to Shadow of Infinity, I think, maybe. No, it was like, I don't know. But anyway, I took a small break from playing, and I missed it so much that I went back to it. So I never took a long break like that since then. But I only really started buying a ton of cards and when Force of the Breaker came out, because that's when John and I started getting into the game, and we had some friends that said, hey, you should go to a sneak preview. So we went to the Force of the Breaker sneak preview, and it was so much fun that we decided we wanted to start buying more cards. So if you see my what's it called? My little shrine video, you'll see all the boxes are from like Force of the Breaker onward, and most of my Yu-Gi-Oh products come from after that era. So sadly, I did a point trade. If you don't know what points are, it's like you basically trade a bunch of crappy old, or just crappy useless cards for towards a good card, and I traded pretty much all my older cards, so I don't have any of my uh, cards from back in the day, back in 2000, except I do have some of the holos, just not the commons. So most of my collection now is newer stuff, sadly, but then again, there's not many older cards that are still, usable. So only for collector's purposes, I'm sad about not having my old cards. So, yeah, that's how I got into it. I've been into it for now, it's almost been 10 years, so I'd love to hear your guys' stories on how you got into Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sure they're exciting. But yeah, it's a fun game, great game. It's just funny how the apprentice overtook the master in this case. So, alright, see you guys later. Okay, so I found the article, and at the beginning there's a picture. It's not of me, it's of two guys, but playing in the tournament, and if you can see, he's got a Shadow Ghoul in his hand, a Mystic Plasma Zone, and his opponent has a Ground Collapse and a Vanilla Monster. Pretty scary. So, I won't read the whole thing, but just some funny excerpts from this article. The newest craze is Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, with characters from a Japanese animated fantasy. Much like baseball and football players, each Yu-Gi-Oh! Character has certain qualities that can be played against each other, although the complicated and fluid rules seem to elude almost everyone old enough to have a driver's license. In each series, there are key cards you want to have in your deck, explained 13-year-old Lisa Franklin of Swampscott. It depends on how you want to put your deck together. And then I say something else over here. Oh yeah. I enjoy all the strategies. Oh, this was someone else talking. I enjoy all the strategies, he said. So does Franklin, but she recognizes a lot of luck is involved in the game. She's one of the few girls who plays, but doesn't seem to notice. A lot of my friends are boys, she says. Her mother, Andrea, added, the boys look to her as a peer. There's no sexual distinction. It's your mastery of the game that counts. She initially thought her daughter's interest would be a costly purchasing hobby. Smart. But it's a fairly complicated card game. It's pretty decent in strategy with a lot of math. As a math teacher, Lisa's mother feels that this is a positive side effect of the game. And my mother's in this more than me, which is kind of awkward. Andrew Franklin speculated, Yu-Gi-Oh! May become the Mahjong of the 21st century. So yeah, that's this. I saved this. This is from Thursday, November 21st, 2002, and this is my little article from my past. Alright, now, goodbye.